Welcome back, folks. Nadine Artemis here, your host. And today's episode is going to have us rethinking how we take care of our hair. Now, most people think of hair care as just cosmetic. Wash, rinse, repeat. Nadine Artemis thinks of it as a biological reset. In this episode, we dig into how toxin stress and even your shower water can affect the tiny ecosystem living on your scalp. Nadine shares her rituals for restoring that balance, from apple cider rinses to rosemary and melatonin treatments that actually wake up dormant follicles. So if you've ever wondered why your hair has lost its shine or volume, or your scalp is always dry and itchy, this episode is definitely for you. This episode is also brought to you by Kineon, that really cool red infrared light device, Fatty 15, and Manukora. I've got to tell you, the best Manuka honey on the planet, all with special offers just for you. Check out the show notes below for details and enjoy the show. Nadine Artemis, welcome back. It's been such a long time.
I'm so happy to be here and so happy to be here and see you.
I know, in person, right? We got in a hug, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
The last time we tried to do in person was hilarious. It was at your beautiful compound, but between the two of us, we really couldn't figure out the tech. So now we have a tech person.
Well, and I think we were laughing too much.
That too.
Yeah.
But we were in those cool chairs.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
The lost files. Maybe we'll have a clip from that or something.
Maybe we'll go dig something up from somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, guys, I've got notes today because this is one of those episodes I just wanted to make sure that I got all the questions in. And there are so many questions. So we're talking, I mean, one of my favorite books in my bookshelf is Renegade Beauty. It's, first of all, it's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
And it's filled with such beautiful wisdom. So, I mean, how long did it take you to write that? It's like an encyclopedia.
I feel like it kind of took me, like when I sat down, a few months, but it really was like at that stage, when I wrote it, like 2017, felt like it was about 25 years though of my brain.
Percolating.
Yeah. And then like also distilling from talks that I'd given on like breast health or dental health, and then just really wanting to distill like the gems and really put it together so that we had kind of like a body manual.
Yeah. And when I say encyclopedia, I don't mean that in an encyclopedia kind of way, because it's not. It's, I don't know what the proper term is, but it's just, it's a book where you do a deep dive into so many different critical areas. And I mean, yeah, your business is essential oils, but it goes way beyond essential oils. Like you talk about light and the sun. And today we're going to talk about hair and scalp, which is really interesting because I rented the studio today for 2 different episodes and 2 very different takes on hair and scalp. One is looking at hair and scalp as a source of regenerative material for our bodies, which is pretty cool. Kind of next level, but we're now going to back it up a little bit and talk about, you know what I love about your approach is it's never just about, oh, is your skin looking pretty? Is your hair looking pretty? I mean, yeah, pretty's great, but it's about what it really is telling us. And so when did you kind of move into the space of looking at hair as a health signal instead of just like this, woman's crowning beauty?
Yes. Well, I feel like really from the start, because sort of my whole approach, even with making a face serum, but it was always the whole body, because I feel like that's sort of what Renegade Beauty is about too. And it kind of reflects back to my early endeavors into so I was making formulas at like 18. And at the same time, I'm learning about the body from like some books like How to Get Well, which is written by it was an older book and it was written by like a European naturopath. And then he kind of had like an A to Z of the body. And I just sort of started understanding more things because when I grow up, if you had a stomach ache or a headache, it's like Pepto-Bismol and like a Tylenol.
Yeah.
And then as I got into my teens and having had a few doctor's appointments, I'm like, people don't know. Like they don't know. I'm like, I don't know, but he doesn't know. Like, you know what I mean?
He sure doesn't know.
Does not know. And then I'm reading and discovering I'm at university and, there's like a little health food store that's in a house that I walk by every day. It's called Grains and Beans and Things. And I literally was like getting a full understanding on like food and farmers markets, and like I'd understood like the whole supermarket thing. Like in the 80s, we didn't know, we just bought our food. But then it was like I bought a book on like how to read labels at the supermarket. So that really took me in and it helped me really understand like the bottles on my like Body Shop product that we all thought were like totally amazing and natural back then. And then I was like, oh my God, like I just started seeing the whole thing. I understood how to read a label. This is around 18, 19. And then that book helped me because it was telling me things like, you know, if you have a stomach ache or a headache, it could be constipation and here's a thing and then have this. And like, you know, and then he wrote another book called like Swedish Beauty Secrets and it like introduced me to dry brushing and so there was all that. And so to me, the hair comes with it is even why I'm into beauty, but I wrote a book on teeth because that's a whole part of it too.
I love that. That was a great book. We actually did a whole episode on oral care. You guys, we'll link it in the show notes. Your book on teeth is fantastic because it was, for me, it was kind of the gateway into this whole holistic dental care space.
Yeah.
And it's why I drive 45 minutes to my dentist.
Yes. That's why I fly to Texas.
Exactly. So you've said every health decision is a beauty decision, which I mean, I think some people listening to this will smile and nod and other people will go, wait, what? What are you talking about? So how does that really show up? Like tell us about that.
In all the
quote.
ways. And really every dental decision is a health decision.
Well, yeah, the teeth and the health is inextricably linked at this point. I heard a talk by Dr. Dome. You probably know him. Dr. Dome Nishowitz. And, you know, when he starts linking dental and oral health, and I think you do the same in the book with mental health, neurodegenerative disease, cardiovascular disease, every single health issue you can think of originates in the gut and in the mouth, which frankly is an extension of the gut, if you think about it.
It totally is. And somehow, like in the 40s, when they were sort of forming more modern dentistry, they just were like...
They kind of forgot about it. They just tossed the whole thing out.
They literally decided it wasn't systemic and it was acidogenic. So that was kind of... took a turn there. But yeah, I feel like everything that we put on, in, and around our bodies, you know, will lead to health, which ultimately I think is beauty. To beauty sort of like when your cells are living at their best potential in a way. It's like you're just maxing out who you inherently are on kind of all the levels, you know, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. I mean, that's sort of the full beauty package. And of course, we're always sort of, you know, going through the motions of like, you know, our day to day. And a lot of that can be overwhelming or, oh my God, right, with marketing. And you know, we've obviously been thinking about marketing and understanding it and sort of seeing even from the 80s and 90s, all the ads and the Photoshop. But now
it's out of control.
It's out of control with filters and AI and who even knows where we're going. So the influencing and the thought, like we're so, I guess, conditioned in a way to think that beauty is just external and then we just have to take care of like all the external stuff, you know, like even with brushing your teeth, obviously you want to do, but it's a whole inside story. Like white teeth are coming from within the middle of the, you know, the pulp chamber and that kind of thing. And so with beauty, especially if we think of skincare, it's just like that idea that we're going to scrub or peel or primp our way out of something. And, you know, generally, again, it's coming from the inside out. So those blackheads on your nose, it could be from constipation. Yeah. You know, and then a lot of the stuff that we're doing, like literally applying that lotion or the benzoyl peroxide is literally mutating and messing with the microbiome.
And the skin biome.
Exactly. Yeah. Inside, outside. Yeah, and so our skin biome is really getting assaulted. Now, apparently we've only really known about the skin biome for like, I don't know where we're at, about 20-ish years. So, you know, before the turn of the century, it was like, I think we could be concerned about a lot of the toxins we were putting on. And there's sort of that toxic thing in the liver and understanding like how parabens just sort of stay in the body. But understanding the microbiome kind of gives us a new awareness and even more reason to not be applying things that are going to mutate the microbiome, which also then really creates a bit of a catch-22 on the surfaces of our skin, which of course includes the scalp.
So we don't think about the scalp. And that's why I think this episode's going to be so interesting to people because we're all talking about the skin, we're talking about the microbiome, which are very important, admittedly. But the scalp is this, it's like the last frontier, right? People are like, if they have dandruff, that's where all bets are off. They're just going to the drugstore. They're getting the anti-dandruff shampoo. That's like the line that must never be crossed. Yes. I think we're all traumatized. I mean, those of us who are old enough are traumatized from those ads.
Totally, the Head and Shoulder shampoo.
that ad. Anyway, for those of you listening, you can't see me kind of looking at my shoulder disdainfully and brushing it off. Hey folks, I just wanted to take a quick minute to tell you about something that I've created just for you guys, my listeners. I've created an amazing holiday gift guide for listeners so that you can get the best Black Friday deals on biohacking tools, supplements, and so much more. There are gifts in different price ranges and once a year price drops on your dream health tech. And no one said you can't shop for yourself. So you can get the stuff for friends and family or for yourself. All you've got to do is go to natnidham.com/gift guide for the list of Black Friday deals that you just can't miss. I really want to focus on the hair follicle, like the life cycle of the hair follicle and how do we care for it? And you just had a bunch of follicles pulled out of your head. Which you'll have to go listen to the episode on Acorn Biolabs to understand why Nadine just subjected herself to that.
I'm excited.
But let's also talk about how our health impacts the health of the hair follicle.
For sure. Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there. I think mainly just knowing, your scalp obviously is skin, and it obviously is like the hair is growing out of it. And so it can be the soil. Well, we want it to be the soil from which all the hair is growing.
Yeah.
So any hair issue is going to have its roots in scalp dysbiosis, as in scalp imbalance.
Okay.
And I feel like as a society, especially after the pandemic, which created a lot of hair shedding for people, like literally because the virus has that for some people where they would find 3 months later hair shedding like crazy.
My hair jumped off my head.
Yeah. And not always, and everybody is connecting it because it'll happen like 3 months later. Not to mention the stress and just like everything else going on. But I feel like I can see it sort of like I can see it on a societal level that hair is thinner in the past.
In general.
Yeah. Like I know there's a lot of, tricks and hair extensions and stuff for Hollywood, but like you can see it. And, so there's that. There's times of stress. So even like teens, there's a lot of hormone and a lot of growth hormone happening for sure. But stress can do that, or after pregnancy, or hormonal changes like perimenopause and menopause. Those can be huge times for the hair to start saying goodbye.
Well, and to just see those shifts that we. And I think we'll talk about those life stages a bit later because I do want to talk about them. But maybe let's back up a bit. Let's talk about the anagen and telogen phase of the hair follicle, because hair follicles go through different phases.
They do go through different phases. What I found, they're there. And so you have a growth phase and a quiet phase.
Yeah.
And I think there's even 3.
I think there's 3 too.
Yeah, and I forgot but there's sort of like a dormant, and then it could be like maybe the third one's actually the shedding one, which I probably should have brushed up on that. But I kind of like it's
that I'm fun.
It's a good to know that, but I kind of like I like to think of like let's just not think about when those cycles are and just go for growth like all the time, because I think with some of the tricks that I've discovered is that you really can maybe even surpass those cycles.
Well, we have a mutual friend, Leslie Kenny, who has a supplement called Primadine, which is a spermidine supplement. And doesn't that lengthen the growth phase of the hair?
It does.
Because we see one of the things, not that this is an ad for spermidine, but as it turns out,
if you're talking about hair,
you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But it actually lengthens the growth phase of the hair, which is one of the things, it's interesting about that supplement, because so often you take a supplement and you're like, well, I think it's working. I don't really know. I'm buying the philosophy here, but I don't really see. Yeah. Whereas that one, you do see know. It. You see it in the hair, the nails, and the skin.
Yes, it really helped me because I had one of those, 3 months after COVID moments. And so it's just starting, which, obviously the first signs, you want to take care of that. And the Primadine really helped me in that phase. I think that was when we discovered it, or not, like, you know what I mean? When we were all talking about it. And I met Leslie. Yeah. I believe it was like in those months. So that was really great. And I mean, you can see it in your nails right away. Yeah. That kind of thing. So there is those growth cycles, but yeah, I'm almost like, let's even try and
because from the telogen phase, you go to the shedding phase. Yes. Right? Yeah. But the cool thing is that it's not like all of the hair follicles on your head go through the same thing at the same time. So the idea is kind of to maintain the growth phase as long as possible, but it's going to happen at different times.
Yes. It was staggering.
Staggering is in a good way, the good kind of staggering.
And then I was going to say too, the other thing we have besides like, the virus that have more shedding, that kind of thing, is now we also have like, more increasingly complex shampoos and topical hair products that leave residue, even if it's sort of invisible. And when they took like a thermal imaging type of imaging from people, like they were trying to see the microbiome. And so what they found was through common drugstore skin stuff, it's not leaving. Like, so even after people are showering. So, yeah. Right. So it's that stuff you put on 2 or 3 days ago is still there.
Really?
Yes. And that's the same I talk about with like foaming cleansers, with even like mouthwashes. And you think it's like natural, but it's like literally leaving microscopic splinters in the stratum corneum. And on our scalps, there is a lot of residue from our modern things. And like spray on dry shampoo has like butane in it and just crazy things.
Yeah, I've never been much on the dry shampoo front. No. I mean, so let's talk about the scalp ecosystem.
Yeah. Yes.
Because there would be a scalp biome.
Yes, exactly.
So let's talk about that scalp ecosystem. And what do you think, like, what are the top 3 variables there? You've got the scalp biome, you've got sebum chemistry. We can talk about that. Mechanical friction, UV, like,
yes.
Let's talk about all these things and how they play a role.
Well, you got the residue. So, and then you want to make sure you're really cleansing your scalp.
And how do you do that? I mean, you sent me to that place.
I know, yes.
I looked like Kazoo.
So there are, I think it would be great for more spas to have very dedicated, like basically, there's shampoo and blow dry, but you go in for like a full scalp, I want to say makeover, but like spa.
A scalp show.
Yeah, a scalp show. There you go.
Kind of like a facial, only different.
Yes. And then you can really make sure, because if you've got residue, it's going to take more, and it's certainly going to take the shampoo that was maybe creating the residue in the first place. So you want to find a non-sodium lauryl sulfate at least shampoo.
Okay.
I do know where you can get some, but so in general, you want to find that cleanest shampoo. And then for the first few times, you could add something like baking soda to that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then you're going to just really, so everybody, especially guys, it's so easy if you have short hair, because like, even if you're at the wit's end and you're going to get like hair plugs, you got to make sure the scalp is clear, or those plugs won't even hold.
Okay.
So no matter what, and if you're thinking about that, first really go into the scalp and the scalp system. And there's stuff we're going to do inside, but like topically, you've got to clear it. So,
so what about those clearing shampoos?
I don't know those shampoos.
Yeah. And I remember years and years ago, they first came out, and these were shampoos designed to do clear. Exactly what you're talking about here, is remove the residue from, and I mean, it's not just shampoos, it's shampoos and conditioners.
Exactly.
And then all the other stuff you add to your hair.
Well, I would if the ingredients are good, but it could be like chemicals to remove chemicals. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so really, shampooing is about the scalp and conditioning is about the hair.
Okay.
So really conditioning, you just like, it's just really going on top and around it. You don't get the conditioner into the scalp, and it doesn't need to be.
Right.
So what you're doing with that shampoo, and there's a few tricks to do. Like you could take on Amazon, for example, root hair applicator. I have $6 for like 3. Like you can give them away because you just need one. And that is going to be handy for a few things. So it's literally a plastic squeeze bottle with like fork fingers, and then the stuff comes out of the fork fingers. So you can get everything right into your scalp.
Into the scalp.
In a way you can't. So you can do that, or literally even just take like a cup or something, but take your shampoo and then dilute it. So whatever you're about to put on your head, and then just dilute it by like a whole other shot glass of water. Shake it, and then get that into your scalp. So for me, it's really good because like I can wet my hair and then it's hardly even wet because it takes, I got to saturate
so
it.
Thick. Yeah.
And so I can get it in there, and then it's about the suds and the scalp. Don't even think about washing if it's longer. Doesn't matter. It will get cleansed in the process.
Yeah.
So it's about the scalp. And I have tried every scalp massager on the planet, and I'm still back to the hands. The good kind is like the kind of 1980s kind that's just literally like plastic and like $5. The silicone massagers, the fancy ones, I'm not really feeling it. Unless, like, I guess if you're a guy, but if your hair's like a few inches, this silicone, it just tangles it up.
Because I was going to say, I have one of those ones from that hair spa.
Right. Oh,
it's round and it's battery operated, and I like it, but to your point, it makes my hair go into a knot, but it feels so good.
I'm really working on a metal one, which I think would be, because the silicone, it just doesn't work there. It's like tangles up your hair. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing is, I find though, but if you just get into it, you just get the pads of your fingers, get it right into your hair, and then you want to feel the scalp, and you want to get those suds active under your fingers, and you're going to do every centimeter of your scalp that way.
Yeah.
And you're going to work up those suds.
And I have to say, so often shampooing your hair, and then this is going to be silly, guys. I know we normally talk about all this crazy stuff, but give yourself the gift of a good scalp massage, because you know how we dream about somebody giving us a good scalp massage? You actually have two good hands.
You do.
You can do it yourself. And it is, if you actually take a second to do it.
Yeah.
It is one of the most
about 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm saying a second, but which is the problem, right? I have no time.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, and I'm out.
When we discovered, or maybe like you kind of really have to brush your teeth for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to do your hair for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And especially if you're not a guy with 1 inch hair. If you're like, you know.
But even with 1 inch hair, like one of the lost arts, and I remember this from another podcast I did on hair actually a couple of years ago. Sorry, correcting myself as I go. Is that the act of massaging your scalp is about, and even brushing, this is about bringing circulation. About bringing blood to the hair follicles, which is lost.
It's lost on so many levels. We could even just be hanging upside down. So there's a lot of things to bring blood to the scalp, and that's certainly part of the protocol. And why it may seem like we're going to go through some simple protocols and steps, but like they work. And I feel like it's good for people to know, because I feel like sometimes when you get to a crossroads and then you think, oh my God, it's got to be a big clinical moment. I've got to go inject
whatever
Rogaine in my hair. I don't know, whatever people do. But all of the things that we're talking about, or we will talk about, have better statistics than the whatever, I don't know.
Than the
classic one. That also has like side effects of like, testicle shrinkage and stuff. So there you've got your full head of hair.
Yeah, well, it's what people can see, right? So let's talk a little bit about, we've talked a bit about the mechanical aspect.
Oh yeah, so I just want to say, you scrub it, you're really going to make sure you're scrubbing it. And then you want to like kind of semi-rinse that out, but not fully, like a half rinse. Then get just another smidge of shampoo, go back in, it will get even more fluffy. And it's really about, the suds will tell you when you're done. And then it's about, of course, a very thorough rinsing.
Yeah.
Like with a power, so check the power coming, your pressure.
Yeah.
And and a water filter, whatever you can. If you can, even if it's just a like $30 shower head filter from like Amazon, they work, they help.
Yeah. So what are they removing? They're removing the chlorine.
Yeah, the chlorine, which is huge. So showering in chlorine is more than drinking it, because it is going into the scalp, which has all these pores, and they're not getting
heated.
Yeah, and it's heated, right? And it's not getting filtered through our digestive system, our kidneys, our liver. So it's going right into the bloodstream. So just as an interesting stat there. Yes, you really want to make sure that you're doing that. And if you want extras, you could use that baking soda, extra residue clearing, or apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
It's really good. And then if you've got that root hair applicator, you did the shampoo with it. Now you can put diluted, so pour in like half apple cider vinegar, add another half of water. And then again, if using it will get it closer to the scalp than just sort of rinsing your hair with it.
Okay.
Then you can condition, rinse, but really make sure you've rinsed.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like
especially when you use apple cider vinegar. Otherwise, you'll walk around smelling like salad dressing, which, you know.
It's kind of pleasant. I love it. I always have it in my bathroom. It's like one of the best toners even.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you bring that up. Like growing up, I remember at different times being told beer.
Yeah, beer and eggs, right?
Beer and eggs.
Yeah, we totally did that on the cottage all the time.
So is it true or is it just an old wives' tale?
For sure.
What are the eggs doing? Because it's on the surface. Like
it's like a beautiful conditioner.
So there's just raw egg, beaten raw egg. It's amazing.
That's juicy. Yeah.
Juicy. You don't
have to do that every day. But that could be, but that's more, So that's like on the,
So that's on the hair, not on the scalp
part.
Okay, I'm jumping around.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that sebum chemistry.
Yes.
So that's the secretion from the scalp.
Yes.
That is natural.
Yes.
And that, I feel like people who say I have oily hair are constantly trying to strip that sebum away because they're blaming it for the problem. Do you want to talk about the nuance in that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, well, it's similar to our skin, our faces. And so if we feel like if we were told we were oily in the T-zone, then we might want to take like alcohol toners and
you just want to strip it. Yeah, witch hazel.
Yeah, exactly. Which witch hazel is as a plant is good, but every single witch hazel on the market is really just alcohol with herbal water. It's a very harsh synthetic alcohol.
Okay.
Like witch hazel rose water. It sounds lovely. Look on the label.
Not lovely.
It's not lovely. It's a lovely old fashioned concept that has a different rendition in modern times. So that's the same thing we can do with our scalp. And with the harsher detergents, that is also creating a catch-22 because it's stripping the sebum a lot harsher. And so it's creating that like, now we've got the
and so the scalp's going to respond by
like,
creating more, right?
Yeah, it's like I've got to create more. So washing regularly can help, but with the right shampoo. And then doing something which is good for everybody is like combing or brushing with a good hairbrush. We have one that has metal, like little pins, a pin cushion hairbrush. So very old fashioned. It has long pins for thicker hair. And you put a drop of rosemary on the palm of your hand, run the hairbrush over your hand, and then, flip your head upside down and do those 100 brushes or whatever you want. It feels so good. You will love it.
Well, and the benefit of flipping your head upside down, just to be clear, is blood flow to the scalp.
Yep.
Blood flow to your face.
Yeah.
Blood flow to your brain.
Yes.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. Yeah, even something like dry brushing the rest of the body does bring
blood flow
to the scalp. And so, and rosemary is truly, it has a reputation as a hair growth oil, and it is. Like, it just is. And it outperforms whatever the pharma ones that we can't remember the names are, like in studies. Yeah, minoxidil. Exactly. It outperforms that in studies. Yeah, in studies. So like
just by applying it topically?
By applying it topically. So then again, if you have that root hair applicator, you can have even more fun with that. So I know our rosemary is genuine and authentic. So I know I can use it undiluted on my skin. That being said, so if it's pure, generally everybody can. Doesn't mean you're not going to have an individual reaction, just like a peptide. So do a patch test first. But know that,
like on your wrist,
and just see if you just have a special irritation with rosemary. But generally, if it's pure, you can. And why I love that is because you can bring in those toning, tonic, energizing, circulatory, lymph-loving oils into the scalp, but without making your hair oily, because essential oils don't have oil in them. Even though they're named essential oils, they're actually volatile substances, and there's no
kidding.
Like there's no.
So is this when your hair is wet or dry?
Wet or dry, because it won't ruin the aesthetic. So that's what's really fun about it. So rosemary,
I'm running
home
to do this, just so you know, guys. I haven't done this before, so I've got to rush home after this to.
And it feels so good.
It smells so good.
It smells so good. And so you can use it on a subtle level of like, now I'll take a couple drops, and you can even put on your fingertips and rub
massage it in.
You could do the hairbrush thing. You could do like, if you have a what's that called, like a little needle thing to put
micro needling.
Yeah, into the scalp.
You would micro needle?
I don't, but people do. I don't, but you could micro needle, like, because people theoretically the scalp, but I don't, because I think it makes
it seems a little invasive.
It is for me, but if people are already doing it and then doing it with like drugs, just do it with rosemary, because it will go in. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're into micro needling already. And there's, but I don't do that because, I definitely would never do it on my face.
Yeah. I would do a patch test with that before you ever did your whole
yeah.
head? Because if you had a
'cause
reaction, that would be really unpleasant.
And you will feel, it will definitely go in. So that's an option, but also just massage it will go in the scalp, especially if you have just washed it, because all the pores are a little bit more open.
Because of the heat from the water.
Yeah, and just the water itself opens things up. It does open up the pores. So you got that option, but to that, then you could do like a 20 drops of rosemary, and inside that, you can add powdered melatonin.
Oh my God, you would be knocked out.
You would.
Knocked
you would
out.
think you would be.
I once put melatonin into my scalp.
And you got knocked out?
So I'm very sensitive
Right.
to
Well, I
melatonin.
feel like because I had been high dosing it for a bit. So I was, so definitely test it or use it, do it before you go to bed.
But it's good for hair growth,
No,
right?
it's
melatonin?
insane. You will literally, I had like fuzzy, do you remember Fuzzy Pumper Barbershop from Play-Doh? Where you could make hair grow out of the scalps.
Yeah.
And you
it's like a chia pet.
Yeah, totally like a chia pet. I feel like, and then I've told other people about the melatonin trick, and people literally feel like they can feel their hair growth the next morning. Like it's that palpable. Like you'll feel
So you
the
do it
baby.
at night before bed?
Do it at night before bed.
So just do like a milligram or something?
Yeah, like a
tiny
little,
bit.
like I do like a little teaspoon. I mix it. I don't.
Okay, teaspoon's a lot, just so you know.
Yeah,
She's
so
got
half a teaspoon.
Nadine's a bit hardcore. She's got very high tolerance to stuff. I just don't want anybody sleeping through 7 alarms.
So definitely
Start low.
Start low. Know your melatonin story for sure. But wow, it's amazing. And then you're just doing that topically. And then, so the powder doesn't fully mix with water, but the rosemary helps it for a moment, break it
Emulsify a
down.
bit, yeah.
And then you can add some water to that just to get more spread. And you just make a quick temporary emulsion, shake it, and then just put that in with the hair root applicator.
Okay, we'll put a link to the Amazon cheapy hair root applicator.
I am trying
At this
to find
point,
one.
I'm feeling like I need one badly.
You can use it for so many things. I am looking into making one out of silicone, but that'll still be a moment. And these things are just so handy. And you just need that squeeze, at the end of the day. It'd be great if it was glass, but you just need to
you need to
squeeze
be
it
able
in.
to squish it.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than a squeezy thing that doesn't squeeze.
No, it just...
I bought a face foundation. I'm like, oh, this is a really cool brand. And it was kind of clean and whatever. I cannot get the foundation out of that bottle for love or money. Anyway,
yes.
I digress. Let's go back to our topic here. Okay, so
I'm
rosemary, melatonin, and a bit of water. 20 drops of rosemary.
Yeah.
And how often would you do that?
You could, you could do it every day if you want.
Every night?
If you're at a thing where you I want hair, do it. And take we could talk about internal supplements too.
Yeah.
But these are tried and true, and and you can do it at home, and it really does progress it in a way that I don't think you really can put it in the power of your hands.
We'll have to link. Maybe what we'll do is we'll find that study comparing rosemary to minoxidil if we can track it down.
Yep.
I think that would be a really interesting thing to add to the show notes.
I have that. And I thought of the melatonin thing from Dr.
Thierry Hertog.
Yeah, thank you for saying his name.
I heard him. No, I heard him talking about this, but he talked about how he knocked himself out.
Yeah, he does.
With the melatonin.
Yes.
But his hair regrowth was off the charts.
Yes. So it really does work. So does internal melatonin. So that's a whole thing too, where we want to talk about circadian rhythms.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that now?
Well, no.
Okay.
Let's part circuit because I have a couple of other things here I want to talk
for
about.
it.
So we talked about the mechanical, which is the massage, the brush.
Yes.
We talked
Blood
about the
flow.
sebum chemistry. Basically, respect the sebum.
Yes.
Don't erase this. Don't
erase
strip
the
it.
sebum. And we're talking about massage more because it's that whole scalp skin
Yeah.
that gets stagnant, and we need blood flow there.
Mm-hmm.
So things that can massage the scalp are very important. And there's a very simple device I think it's called hair growth band. Now, why I like it is because it's a massage I've never seen. So there's lots of things that kind of massage the head, but this goes on your head and it literally lifts up that whole flesh of your scalp up and down. So it's kind of like a squeezing up thing. And apparently it does really help with hair growth, which I could see because it's literally moving the scalp flesh in a way that just massaging isn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can do that.
I wouldn't run out and get that as your first thing. I would do the other things
just use it
first.
with your hands. Yeah.
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 But if you want to, have fun with the
Go
toys.
next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. UV. So the UV from the sun
So
can
UVA.
be challenging. UVA, UVB, but red and near infrared. Let's talk about photobiomodulation for the scalp and UVA, UVB.
So we actually do want sun on the scalp. as you know, again, if
Just not in a Jamaica, get the cornrows, burn the crap out of your scalp way.
Yeah, if you're bald, you got to obviously think about it. And also, you don't want to get like heat exhaustion. So if it's a full day of sun, like you want a hat at some point, right? Because you don't need the scalp there all the time, but you definitely want the sun on your scalp. And actually in ancient Egypt, they would shave the young men's heads so that their scalp would get more fortified. And then there's a battle scene, I can't remember the place, where the Egyptians fought another group of people. So at this battle, there's like skulls, like to present day or some point. And then they talked about in my book. And so they went and visited it, and they found that if you could throw rocks at the Egyptian skulls, they would not break. And the other people, which were just had hair and whatever, they wore hats or something. And they were like skulls would just crumble.
Shatter, yeah.
So we all because I don't know if we all know, but bones and the sun are totally connected because
vitamin D3. Yeah.
Vitamin D3 and so many things, like that's a whole other topic, obviously, but we need the sun. So, but we don't want to get burnt by the sun, and we don't want just UVA. So UVA on its own, that would be like sun through a window. So if you're, bald and driving a truck or anything, and that side, if you're always, I say driving truck because that would be every day, and you're maybe going the same route at sunset every day, and so you're getting those hits of sun, that would be sun damaging.
So through the window.
You don't want. And then sunscreen, that delivers to you just UVA. So that's why, besides the chemicals, sunscreen is damaging because you're just receiving UVA, and UVA isolated on its own without its UV partner is skin damaging. And so studies show that is what causes, moles and freckles, and more so is that isolated UVA. So we just want sun. So great, enjoy it. You're out walking your dog or whatever. Do get sun in your scalp. And obviously if you're bald or thin, it can get through, you have to think about it.
You have to be careful, yeah.
Do not, I think we're learning now, I think women know that polyester underwear, not so good for down there. And men, we're getting all these studies that show that polyester underwear does affect fertility. So I just want to say, polyester ball caps. No,
like where's the segue? How did we go from up here to down there? Okay.
Yeah.
So watch the material. Yeah.
For sure. So cotton, natural
linen.
Yeah. So that really, it will contribute to, especially for guys. Well, they're the ones wearing the polyester more. So that's not breathing, and it's like trapping things in. So you want everything on your, like close up, you want it very breathable, so
natural.
Yes.
So what about red and near infrared light? Because people are selling those caps with red and near infrared light in the cap.
And so that is a great idea and definitely works. As long as you use it, it will work over time. And what that helps too is with the scalp microbiome, and it's giving us the lost light that we're not getting because we're like, wearing the hat or we don't go outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And for sure. And we're hiding from the sun.
Exactly.
All the time.
And I think it also helps to mitigate where we are not in circadian rhythm and we're like on, just like our phone at midnight. That isn't going to make your hair grow either.
No.
Because hair loss like that, it is connected to the level or the systems, I would say, where the melatonin is also connected. I don't know all the roots, but there's a definite connection there. And so if we're up all night and in blue light, we are literally depleting our melatonin. I mean, which could just be from one tiny blue light going off in your room attached to you know what I mean? Like any light in the environment, you may be asleep, but your cells are aware because every cell is on like biological circadian rhythm that we can't, it's just there. It's like thousands, millions of years old. And even though we're in 2025 and we have all this electricity, the biology hasn't caught up or whatever. Not that it needs to. So you really do want to think about blocking blue light at night, changing your light bulbs. It's pretty simple. It's incandescent light bulbs with amber or red. Put your phone on night shift, and there's a red. You can take out the blue light.
1, 2, 3,
1,
boom.
2, 3. And you've got to wear blue blockers too, because there's flashing. I forget how many times a second we're getting that flicker. It's hundreds of times a second.
Okay, but if you wear your blue blockers and you've got your phone on shift, you may as well just turn off the phone, which is good. It's a deterrent for doom scrolling at night because you get so annoyed after a while. You're like, I can't see anything.
I've definitely texted the wrong people because
which can be a problem.
Yeah. But you definitely want to do that as much as humanly possible.
Okay.
And then red light in the morning is so key. So again, if you can't get outside, that's where the red light comes in handy. And that's maybe when you want to that's a good time to do an extra red light thing, like a scalp cap or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the caps work, just do them. And it's a good way because the scalp, especially for dandruff, it's really helping to shift the microbiome in there. If you combine that with your shampoo, really cleansing your scalp, getting red light in there.
Would the rosemary treatment help with dandruff as well?
Totally. Now, do the rosemary and the melatonin, throw on your red cap. That's a great combo too.
Bob's your uncle.
Yes.
You could do that at bedtime with the red infrared?
I kind of just do it. I do the melatonin generally.
I would do
night.
the melatonin at bedtime just for...
But I do. But saying that, I do take melatonin in the day.
Yeah, I know. And you take mega doses.
Saying,
But
that's the John Laurent's Doris Lowe realm of melatonin.
Which is worthy of exploration. 100%.
It was very neat.
Okay, so red near infrared light, a good thing. UVA, you need it with UVB. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, the sun gives us this cocktail because you need the cocktail, not isolated. That's how we get in trouble in nature, right? We try to isolate one thing because we think it's good.
It's always the trouble.
And it always needs its friends to be better at the end of the day. We've talked about the sebum of the scalp. We want to make sure that we respect it and we treat it well and we don't try to strip it away.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about your wash rhythm philosophy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let's talk about how much is too much, how much is too little. How do you know? What if you have dry hair? What if you have oily hair? What do we do?
If your scalp is fine, or especially like kids, like if they generally don't like, if they don't have dandruff and everything's fine, just like let it go once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's okay as long as there's not a buildup. Now, once they get into the teens and then everybody has more everything and the hormones create more sebum and stuff, for sure you got to wash it more. But again, if your scalp's good and your hair is great, it could be once a week.
Yeah.
But then you've got to just monitor it. So if it's shedding, like if you're in a shed stage, it's falling out and you're very sad or like that moment, you got to wash it, and it may need to be every day, even if it's long for the
first
bit.
Which is counterproductive, right? Because when people start losing their hair,
know, you want it.
You're like afraid to touch your head. I remember that when I went through that 3-month shedding, I was like, okay, I'm not going to touch it. Maybe it'll stay. Yeah. Which it doesn't because it's all over your desk. But that's when you need the circulation.
You're like, oh, I don't want to, touch a strand or whatever. Yeah, and the shampooing will, maybe loosen more, but you've really got to clear the scalp because, if it's shedding, the scalp is in distress. It's not happy. Yeah. So we got to really clear up that topical situation.
What about that no poo movement?
It's
the no shampoo, where people literally just stop washing their hair, which I have to say, I can't get on board with that only because I know that after a certain period of time, it doesn't feel good. And
there could be a thing if you've got a lot of harsh shampoos and maybe you grew up I got to wash it every day with my L'Oreal. Now the scalp could be off from another thing.
No offense to L'Oreal, but yeah.
And then you might have to just almost if that's your situation, you might need to have not wash as much. Let it rebalance the oil. But the moment you're shedding or there's any kind of scalp just
dysfunction,
which
imbalance,
and if you really, you could even get a camera on Amazon, a little scalp camera. You can plug it into your iPhone and you could just put it through, and it's actually pretty fascinating because you can see how close are the hair follicles, are they all producing, and then you can see there's an area that's kind of red and irritated because how are you going to know, right? So you can really see microscopically, and then you can do the things in shampoo, and then you can take a picture and see how it's literally improving. And so that's a pretty good tool.
Oh, that's really well because they do that at hair clinics. Yeah. They also do it at the scalp spa you sent me to, where they take a picture.
Yeah. So I think if you are even at a regular hair place, that's a great service to have. But we can really do it at home as well. You can do your whole family.
Well, and also, actually, this isn't even in my notes, but I remember one of the treatments they did was ozonation.
Yes, yeah.
They did an ozone treat. So they put, this is when you look like Kazoo, guys.
Yes.
They put a cap on your head and it's sealed around the edges. And it's really a sight. I should have taken more pictures. And now they blow ozone. And do you want to talk a little bit about that treatment? Because it's quite something.
It's something, but guess what? You can do it at home as well.
With an ozone machine.
But
which
there's
requires
water,
having an oxygen tank.
Well, there's water ozone machine. There's ones designed for the hair.
Okay.
And then they sometimes you can just sit in front of them and get or you can make a little thing that goes around it. So I think you, ozone hair steamer.
Okay, that's what it was.
I'm pretty sure.
And so that's just like delivering hyper oxygen.
Yeah, with water and the ozone. So of course, ozone's going to be amazing for the scalp. So it's a great thing to do. And actually, some of them even come with red light now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that red light just keeps coming up.
Well, it's calming, it's soothing, it's anti-inflammatory. And then if you did sort of explore your scalp with the camera and you're seeing like the red irritated patches, that's where you could do like rosemary or peppermint
on the spot.
Now, and then you can you could dilute it because of course oil is good for the scalp. So then there's scalp oil, which is a thing, which is like we make some beautiful scalp oils with like nettles and stuff, and mustard seed oil, saw palmetto.
Yeah.
But those are pumpkin seed oil. Those are all things you could just literally get a beautiful organic pumpkin seed oil, add rosemary, like do 5 to 10% rosemary, and then you've got your own scalp oil, which is so nourishing. And then what I like to do is sometimes I'll just have like an oil up day and I'll just oil my whole body up in hair and then sort of shower the next day. But if I do oil my hair, I like to just do it the night before.
Yeah.
I shampoo. And then to that, I might just add oil right into that rosemary melatonin mix. So you can also deliver it with the oil.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm all over the rosemary melatonin mix.
Yeah.
By the time I record the intro to this episode, I will have done the rosemary melatonin, so I will report back.
I am going to go home and send you a bottle of rosemary and our special metal hairbrush with the pin cushions.
I'm so excited.
It's so good.
It's going to change my life. I can feel it now. When it comes to natural products, sometimes I've spoken to people who are like I get the worst rash, or I get so irritated or burning. Why do you think that is? I mean, obviously everybody's different and we have different sensitivities, but is there something people should be looking out for in their natural products? Because everything says natural these days.
I know. Just because from the health food store.
Yeah, are there ingredients or things people should look out for?
Generally like the sodium lauryl sulfate family, SLS, but there's like now there's like 10, 20 names, which I can't even remember them all. So really just look at it. But yeah, if it's, now again, anybody could get a rash from something, but it does seem like there might be something not so good in there. So you definitely want to find something that,
well, and there's databases out there, right? Like the Environmental Working Group. What do you think of those guys?
It's like so industry heavy, and they greenlight
so they're
things.
Protecting.
Yeah, but the greenlight things I would not put on.
Well, you do the Nadine filter is a particular filter. Yes. It's a start, though.
It's
EWG is a start.
You know what? It is a start.
You're going to have to create your own.
There. Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned rosemary and peppermint. You actually mentioned rosemary, peppermint, and mustard seed. There's also our favorite, and you have trees of it on your property, sea buckthorn.
Yes.
So can we talk very quickly about all of those and talk about them in terms of a physiological response?
Yep.
So there's a vasodilator in there.
Yep.
There's an anti-inflammatory. There's a lipid balance, antimicrobials.
So all essential oils are antimicrobial, antiviral, and antibacterial, but to varying degrees. And then they bring different natural chemical constituents to that. So rosemary's antimicrobial gift might be just perfect for that thing, that bug that, I don't know. I was going to say clove couldn't do, but clove could do it. You know what I mean? Like it's giving different kind of information. And so even and then if you combine them, they're even giving more information. But there's a whole realm of aromatherapy that comes from French clinical aromatherapy where they do IV and injection, and they're like, so it's very.
Do not try this at home.
No, do not try that at home. But my point was, it's very clinically studied, and there's tons of studies on the properties of oils. So we can't say really whatever, like on my website.
So you can't put it on
I could say it right now, but on my website, I can't fully go into like the power of these things. It's just not, because I don't have to be.
Because you give a lot of information in the book. And with references.
Yes.
So not that this is about, the book's been out for a long time. It's not like this is a book launch or anything, but I have to tell you guys that this book is so designed for the person who just wants to learn about this. You give recipes.
I give it,
Like it's
I just wanted to, like, on a whole brain. I was like, my whole brain at that stage was like, here.
Yeah, it was all. So what are the properties of sea buckthorn? Because sea buckthorn I think of as vitamin C.
Well, so sea buckthorn is really neat because it's a supercritical extraction. So it's sort of halfway between a fat lipid oil and an essential oil. It has both those volatile components and the lipid components, including a rare omega-7. And it has 160 other bioavailable nutrients I wouldn't say all nutrients, but just chemical constituents that can work on the body. The way essential oils work is whether you're inhaling them, and even if you had no sense of smell, or if you're applying them to the body, those molecules go into the bloodstream, they communicate to the hypothalamus, and then, different brain chemicals, positive brain chemicals are released. So there's a whole physiological life to this. And topically, peppermint can help boost glutathione after too much radiation. Rosemary is so circulatory. It's just such an affinity for the lymph. It is a vasodilator. Peppermint is also a vulnerary, so it helps to speed up healing. It's got a slight analgesic component. Nice. So there's a mild, like literally studied, like it is on.
So is this when you smell it or when you apply it?
Now that topically you're going to get the analgesic. So if there is a red irritated patch,
you can apply.
Yeah, and it will be cooling. So also, if you have a hot, sweaty scalp, put a drop of peppermint in with that drop of rosemary, and that's just really nice, especially after you've worked out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no kidding. And you'll be the best smelling person at the gym.
And then those oils have such a synergy for issues like dandruff, because dandruff, to its varying degrees, is definitely a biome issue.
It's a dysbiosis issue, right?
You got a fungal. There's some kind of fungus, basically, like a candida.
Yeah,
right?
Like an overgrowth.
And so that's the essential oils can really speak to that, because the other really neat thing about all of the oils is they're bacteriostatic. So they have the ability to clean up pathogens while working with the beneficial bacteria. Wow. So they don't eradicate it. They're not indiscriminate like an antibiotic, where kind of a lot of antibiotics just kind of go after everything.
Yeah.
They're selective.
Magic.
Yeah.
That's that's the beauty of nature, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit of practical stuff here, because I'm looking at the time going, oh, here we are. So what's your advice to someone who's really struggled with dry scalp and just not getting anywhere, even with natural products? Like, what's the Nadine advice?
I would check the label. Is it really natural? It could be a very drying detergent. And then do the scalp, a scalp oil.
Yeah. So are we talking like the carrier oils here, or
that's like
the jojoba?
Yeah, like a jojoba. Again, we have ones ready to go, or literally a beautiful, like the olive oil that you just did a podcast on. That would be gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the fresh pressed olive oil.
But definitely add in some of those essential oils, because the oil, then they deliver, and those essential oils they bring the oil further into the scalp, because they're like these deliverers, like the fat oil, the lipids helping the essential oil, and vice versa. So it's really good as a combo. And then it will also just help to create more biome balance in the scalp.
Nice. I love it. If hair is a biomarker,
yes,
which it is,
yes,
right? So what are the metrics that we want to look at when we're tracking it as a biomarker?
Well, I would just say like the amount of pores in the scalp that are producing hair.
Yeah.
Because this is important. The reason why we want to be washing our scalp so much, I should have said this, is the more there's debris and congestion on the scalp pore starts shrinking. And then the hair gets thinner because it's not getting the full pore opening, dilation. And then eventually it chokes it off.
Yeah, so it's not getting proper flow.
Yeah, so the hair, like for a male pattern baldness situation, that's happening over time, and then it just closes shop. Yeah. So that's why, you got to keep the shop open, keep those pores, keep putting those essential oils in there, and getting things delivered and bringing that circulation to the scalp. Red light, the massage, hanging upside down.
Hanging upside down. Bats are onto something, I'm telling you. You've never seen a bald bat. Kidding. I'm sure there's a bald bat somewhere. Things like how fast your hair grows.
Yes.
It would be a sign
Yes.
of health to some degree, systemic and hair.
I feel like once you get the blue light under, and if maybe you're going to add that melatonin in, because the melatonin does a super growth. I'll tell you what my super growths are from like 30 years of taking herbs and nettles and Hoshi Wu and blah, blah. Primatine.
Yeah.
Melatonin. Endolutin.
Endolutin. The bioregulator. The pineal gland bioregulator, folks.
And I'm going to write about it someday, but there's a whole pineal melatonin.
It's melatonin regulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a whole connection there. Those will definitely get you on the chia pet scale of hair growth. Yeah. And there's something else that I feel like that I've discovered this summer that I feel like I could just throw out all my hair advice that I've just given you because it works so well.
What is it?
And that's this thing I brought you, which is this hair dryer. But it's
it's in a box.
Yeah, so it's not a hair dryer, but it is one of its tool purposes is to be a hair dryer. So it kind of looks like a long hair dryer, and it blows air like a hair dryer, and it has ions. So the best hair dryer, or a hair tool, like if you want to play with your hair, is a ceramic ion based tool,
right?
And you could pretty much if we were using hair tools from the 70s or 80s, we definitely would be don't use them every day. But the tools out now, I think you can use a lot more, especially if you do, I know our conditioner you can use on dry hair. Yeah. You just do the ends. And if you do that tool on low, it will actually spread the oils through the hair really quite lovely. It's almost like a hot oil treatment. So you can use the tool on low with the conditioner to just bring it through, or even to bring your oils through more. Some of those tools really work. So this... the air coming out of this wand, we're calling it the waveform wand because it's kind of based on some Tesla and Walter Russell theories, but it's bringing a waveform that's from the electromagnetic scale, and it's called terahertz, the terahertz frequency. And so it's been a part of the Earth frequency since the beginning of time. It wasn't until about 20, 30 years ago that they understood how to tap into that gap. And it's just between the infrared, it's after the pulse electromagnetic frequency. So it's in the whole scale. It's before the light spectrum. And they call
it's invisible light.
It's invisible.
Okay.
It's actually, it's the gap. They call it the terahertz gap because it's in between visible and non-visible, form and formlessness. And they couldn't figure it out for a long time. Tesla talked about it, but they didn't have a name. And so this gap, the terahertz gap, is where there's a lot of cellular resonance. And so that was great, but nobody knew how to fully tap into it. And so there's a bigger application for terahertz that's very industrial, and it can detect cancer, and it could even be used to detect metal at the airport, but without causing any of the damage that cancer detection causes right now, or that because it's a non-ionizing thing. So that's very fancy uses. But about 8 years ago, somebody figured out if you take quartz and then you blow an infrared ionized air through this tube, you generate the terahertz frequency.
Wow.
And it comes out like an air. And so you can wave it all over your body, and people affectionately call doing your face Blowtox, because eventually it helps with that. And what it does, and you can charge your water. So you can have a thing of water just 2 minutes a day through glass, and that will charge your water for 10 hours. And what it does is it unmicroclusters the water, which is what we look for.
So it's structuring water.
It's structuring water. It's making it a wetter, thicker water. So when you wave it over your body, your own water is getting better. And so you can use it waving it over your body, or if your knee hurts or arthritic knee, and give it a few days, your knee will change. It's kind of, people are having, because again, it's not really about the machine. It's just because it's putting you in that cellular resonance, and then your body does the rest.
Wow.
And it's so everybody that tries it is just wow, because it's again, it's so simple, but it's really working. And it takes away, for example, if you have eczema, the itch goes.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't even know we were going to talk about this, you guys. So just to be clear. So for the hair.
Yeah. So for the hair.
So you're applying whatever product dry. Or first of all, you can use it to dry your hair.
So and if you have guys don't always blow dry their hair. but do it. That's why I'm like, start.
Just use it.
Yeah. So I had a good hair dryer for years. Like I've tried the Dyson, I tried the Ion one. So I know a good one, but this is better than those. It's more anti-static. So Ions in hair, or like a hair dryer you want, because then it's going to be less frizzy, less flyaway, blah, blah, blah. So this is perfect for all of that. Like where it's just really helping hair quality. Like everybody, they just will blow dry their hair and everything feels better. But then you take it to the scalp or that dandruff scalp, or maybe you just worked out and you're trying to keep so then you could just do the cool setting, quickly dry your hair. So anytime you can, just keep drying that scalp. And then what's crazy is that everybody's using it to varying degrees, are finding like maybe an inch of hair growth in 1 month.
Wow.
With
it's going to be
consistent
expensive
use.
in my world, but yes. Okay.
Oh, to keep getting your hair cut?
Because I keep, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe new style. Yeah, so it's like,
New style. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I looked into it, researched it.
My God, between the melatonin, the rosemary, and this, it's going to be, I am going to be a chia pet.
You are. And I can't wait to hear about everybody's hair growth stories.
Yeah, no,
and it doesn't have to be that
amazing.
complicated. There's just a few things we need to know.
Yeah, it's not much. And I mean, look, it also goes without saying proper protein intake, proper diet.
Oh yeah,
like
I was going to
sleep,
say
manage your stress.
Yes,
like all those foundational things. But I feel like we talk about that so often that today we're just taking it to a different place.
I did want to mention about supplements, because I do feel there's a lot of supplements that could be like making your hair shed and you don't know. Like we had to take a lot of zinc during the pandemic, but then that throws off the copper.
Yes.
So there's a whole dance. And so sometimes I suggest just none of it for a moment. And because it can even be the fillers. Like maybe you have an issue with magnesium stearate, or maybe it's supposed to be good, but it's just affecting you and your hair. So I would kind of do a clean slate.
And then if restart
you can.
Slow.
And what I would restart with is like, a liver supplement, or like there's like skin, hair, nails made from like organ supplements but are directed to skin, hair, nails, and a silica, a liquid silica. Those are all going to be winners with the Primadine, and like you don't have to take them all, but I'm just saying those are all things that are gonna really help growth, but they won't mess up.
I would think also, and that pineal gland bioregulator that you brought up, I think, and I would also think that both the blood vessel bioregulator would be really really helpful, and even maybe Cartilax, for cartilage and elastin.
Yep,
collagen, and elastin. It upregulates collagen. So just doing like a 30-day cycle of those three might be supportive.
Yes.
Not going to in and of themselves make your hair grow.
Yeah,
but
supportive, and at least be the negative. Because again, so many supplements, and you could think it's okay, but again, there's just sometimes a fine balance that we don't know.
For sure.
We're messing with.
Too much of a good thing. Okay, let's leave people with a couple of like little practical things. Not that you can't get them from the book, but there's nothing like getting it straight from Nadine.
You know what? I don't have a full hair chapter, so.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, but it's all sprinkled through.
Yes,
maybe we need a hair
I think
edition
we
of
do.
the book. Okay, so minimalist 30-day routine. One for our dry, flaky scalp, and another one for our more oily scalp. Go.
Okay, dry, flaky. I would do twice a week washing, and oil twice a week the night before. Like, so you're going to oil, scalp oil, and then wash the next day.
Yeah, okay.
You could leave it longer if you want, and then do the rosemary hair brushing thing. And then, something like the terahertz wand or just brushing your hair with the rosemary will just help distribute those oils more and bring it down to the ends where you want it.
Okay, so that's dry, flaky.
Yeah.
Oily?
Scrub every day.
With
is it oily dandruff? I forgot which one was flaky.
Not dandruff,
it was the
just
dry
oily.
flaky.
People, there was dry, flaky.
Oh wait, the dry flaky. If they're flaky, it might need to be 3 times a week. Just saying, because you really want to clear that debris. Yeah, you want to bring that balance, and the red light would balance too. It's almost the same issue. They're kind of just two ends of the spectrum. So it's about clearing. It's about keeping that circulation going with the rosemary. Red light, sunlight. Yeah. Like a lot of our heads haven't really seen the light of day, and like things need sunlight. Yeah. So they don't get like dank.
Yeah. Well, exactly, because in an effort to protect our faces from the sun, we're robbing our head. So we kind of touched on briefly, we're running out of time, but I wanted to talk about there's certain life stages, especially for women, that are really turning points for hair and
Yeah.
can be a real problem.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, of course, pregnancy, most women see beautiful hair growth. Like you're growing a life, you're growing, everything's growing. Your skin's glowing, your hairs are growing, your nails are growing, your hair's growing. And then you have your baby. It can be really stressful. And we often see at the worst possible time, I might add.
It happened to me like 5 months after. And I was like, what's going on?
What?
I had a broken arm.
Oh my God.
It was just not winter.
Life was not good.
No.
So can we help women both? Let's talk about pregnancy because we talked a little bit about teenage earlier.
Yeah.
Let's talk about pregnancy and then perimenopause and postmenopause. Like these are all times when the hair changes.
Cher wants to leave. Says, I'm done.
It's like, I'm out. Or the body maybe is under-resourced and saying, you know what? That's we have bigger jobs right now. Is there anything we can do to support?
Yes. So sometimes in that after the birth hair shedding, obviously there's a lot going on and there's a lot of nutrients needed, especially if you're fully breastfeeding and you may not be aware of what like you're giving. So really just sort of having like a nutrient check, like you got all your bases covered. I would add organs to that. I think that liver is like, and again, I can only eat liver pate. I'm not frying up liver, but it really is like a complete multivitamin. And then you know it's in balance and you know the copper is balanced and all that. So make sure you're on something like that. And then after though, that could be a thyroid thing where thyroid is crashing from
100%.
the whole birth. So I would
and that's
totally
in
look at
all
that.
of those stages.
Yes. Yeah. Including because really, I think perimenopause and menopause is also like a bit of the glandular pause. There's definitely a thyroid pause for a lot of women. So it could be throwing it off. Now, figuring out the hormones or what might be going on could be like take a couple years. So you definitely don't want to wait for that. So I would do those daily all those tips we've just talked about as the rest gets figured out. But yeah, that loss of hormones, the progesterone, the whole balance. I mean, it could be coming from a few different angles, the thyroid, the lack of progesterone, or the increase of the DHT because you're not filtering the testosterone properly, which is also what can happen with men is their DHT conversions aren't happening. And that can be quite a thing with male hair loss, which is a little bit different than women's, but kind of rooted in a hormonal
liver support.
I
think is really important. And then and any of the things we've been talking about today will be helpful. Like I'm feeling like the rosemary melatonin, red light, photobiomodulation, the wand, all of these things really are going to be almost like your foundational things for healthy hair and scalp.
And it is good that we can do things that really from the outside that help because that inside story can take a moment to figure out.
Yeah.
And it might need a pause, sort of like, okay, what was I doing? You know.
Okay. All right. A couple of quick fire questions before we say goodbye. All right. Are there, in your opinion, any valid collaborations between dermatology or trichology, which is the hair, versus going full botanical? Is there ever a time, or do you feel like there's almost always natural botanical
there's always an answer. There's always an answer. And I feel like, and you don't, the side effects are a bit more hardcore with these other things. And really most of dermatology present day is not considering the microbiome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're dealing with dandruff, you have to take into account the microbiome.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay. What ingredient have you changed your mind about in the last 3 years and why? And is there one? Is there an ingredient that you used to be like, it's either really amazing or really awful, and you've had to kind of say, okay, fine.
I don't think so. However, I feel like new substances come into my life all the time.
Okay, is there anything super exciting you'd like to share?
Well, I feel like the endolutein, maybe it's been like since 2020 that I discovered
the pineal gland bioregulator.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. The whole bioregulators is very exciting. I feel like this waveform is exciting, like the tapping into that. And there's just sort of a new discovery. Like even every couple of years, there's a new essential oil that like there was a new, we got a new frankincense, which is like.
You did?
Yeah. Like we have like 10, but there's this one called frankincense. It's Boswellia occulta is the Latin name. And of course, it's not a new tree. It's been with us since the beginning, but it was always harvested and mixed up with the classic Cartieri Boswellia. and nobody knew it existed. And they finally just 2 years ago figured it out, separated it out, and it's a whole other species, and it smells like no other frankincense, and it contains a biochemical called I don't remember the name, but it's never found in a plant. It's only found in spider webs and like centipede goo.
Oh,
and it's in this plant. It's like a protective in the spider web and for the centipede. It helps protect it like it's like a raincoat.
Huh. And so why the spider web has those little the dewdrops?
Yeah, because
in the
it doesn't
morning.
get fully absorbed, and it just has such an affinity for skin and hair. Like I mean, all the frankincenses do. And
so what's this frankincense called if somebody's looking for it?
We call it occulta, frankincense occulta. And I have an article on all the frankincenses on our website, but it's like otherworldly in its aroma, and it almost smells like rain. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Too.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe add it to my rosemary melatonin concoction. So last one. What's one unconventional idea about health you are convinced is true?
So many.
There's probably a few that the world might not be ready for just yet. Don't get us.
Yeah.
Don't get us in trouble here.
I won't. I feel to me it's the sun. I feel like I've said that before, so it may not be a surprise, but to me it's like it's everything. Like it brings so much, it can heal so much, and we don't want to deny those wavelengths of creation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to you can for sure. It doesn't mean like always naked sunbathing, but like being outside, the infrared is all around us, and we need that real life force. And to me, it's just like such an easy way to connect with the entire cosmos because you can feel it.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I feel like the sun, if we could think of it almost as a food.
Yes.
So any food in excess is going to be too much of a good thing, right? And so balancing the benefits of the sun with the excesses of the sun is a thing. And I feel like there's some people who are kind of falling over that slippery slope into maybe too much sun, and it's going to cost them.
There's also about knowing, like, because all day the sun is different, and so there's like there's
windows of opportunity.
Like the morning is like always good, and really all the sun up until about solar noon. Even though obviously the closer you get to noon, but then you can. So for me, if I'm going out, then I'm like, I can get a bigger amount of sun at a shorter amount of time.
Right.
So there's those things, and like really, starting the day. Again, you could try for sunrise, but if not, just seeing the morning light, like putting your eyes in the sun and getting that lux, that like the light, because it's messaging and things we don't even. I mean, we know a lot, and then we'll know more in 100 years. But that light activation in the morning is like activating amino acids, microbial peptides. There's 12 types of cholesterol that are generated from our time in the sun.
Yeah.
Like beneficial cholesterol, like lumisterol. So there's so much that just say hello to the sun.
Yeah. Just say good morning to the sun every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Nadine, as always, a fascinating time. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for making the trek into the city.
I did it.
For me.
I do.
And it was a trek, guys. Like we're talking over 3 hours. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to know you. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. Please tell people where they can find you and find out more about, well, I guess now we're going to have to talk about the wand. I didn't even know we were going to talk about the wand. But where they can find out more about the wand and the book and if they want to check out the essential oils.
Yeah. Well, everything's on livinglibations.com, and you'll also find lots of articles there. We do free complimentary consults, like ask us any health, beauty, hair, dental question. We've got 2 people, and like Joy's been like with us for like almost 15 years. So she just downloads, and if she has she can't think of the answer, they ask me. So it's like, it's good service, and it helps. You can find your way through things. And then the books are also available like wherever books are, and there's Audible versions as well.
I love it. But you're going to want the physical copy. I don't know about you guys, but when it's information dense like that, I need to hold the book in my hands. Maybe it's just because I'm old, but I need the book. I'm old school that way. There will be in the show notes. I know we have a code for Living Libations for you guys. I just don't it might be longevity, but I'm not sure that it is. So we'll add it to the show notes for everybody. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.